What is up, peoples? What is up, peoples? What is up, peoples? Hey, man, y'all just don't understand. When I music be on, I be in the back jamming like, get it, get it, get it. Uh, but we're here with another episode of SSC Podcast with the illustrious co-host. Let's introduce them because we got a special one today. This is pre-next generation launch, y'all. This is some serious stuff. And I know Stadia, I know this is a Stadia podcast. I know there really is no next generation when it comes to Stadia. Kind of, sort of, we already got generation 2, 3, 4, 5, and 50, which is the great thing about Stadia. But still, as gamers with a capital G, you know what I'm saying? It still means something. So we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about how Stadia fits into all that. But before we get into all that, let me introduce the illustrious panel. First and foremost, let me start with my homie, Eddie, player one. Eddie, what is going on, my good friend?
What's going on, MM? What's going on, Project? What's going on, everybody? Hey, Moz, let me ask you. You know how much storage does Destiny 2 takes on Xbox Series X?
How much?
65.
Whoa!
Do you know on PlayStation 5?
How much?
70.
Oh!
Do you know how much on Stadia? That's one.
Let me guess. I'm gonna say 85. 85?
I'm gonna say 0.
0. Ooh. 0. Wow. Insanity. Just another reason why. Look, the reason why we blur the lines, Eddie, and Storm, of next generation, and we already kind of in the next generation, because as everybody's talking about drive space, which is a big thing, we're gonna talk about that.
We got to.
You know, absolutely. We gamers with a capital G, we got to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about drivers, fast loading, and all this other stuff. We're already experiencing that now, and we didn't have to pay $500 for it. So great point, Eddie. Now, last but certainly not least, the hashtag the co-host to everything. I don't think he likes that title, but I'm going to keep using it anyway. The co-host to everything, my homie, Project Storm. What's going on, Storm? How you doing, man?
Not too much, man. If you knew me, you would know that I actually like the name, man.
Ooh,
I really do appreciate the co-host of everything. You know what I'm saying? What's the acronym? Let me see. TCOE. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Coe.
Check it out, man. I feel good as usual when it comes to the Stadia. Hey, Stadia is making me feel better and better and better. Yeah, I can't sit up here and lie, man. I don't want to rob or raid the show notes and all that stuff, man. But I can't help. I got to get into it, man. So, with that being said, man, let's move on into it.
Absolutely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me shout you out real quick. We got the homie Wrong Yeezy in the house. Red Raven 96. The homie Zajic. Raven Anime. JD. Heath Stevens. Come on, Heath. What's going on, my good friend? Who else we got in here? We got Stadia Dosage News, which is me, in Project Storm. Who else we got in here? And I think that is it for the moment. And
Charles just joined.
I miss Charles. Charles.
I
got JD. Okay, Charles. Shout out to Charles. Yeah, Charles is in the house. He just showed up. Do us a favor, everybody, because we can't do this without your support. Let everybody know that we're live. Just hit that hunchback arrow below. Let everybody know that we're live, because we're about to have a very, very good show for you today. With that said, let's move on, man. Let's move on, because we got some topics to talk about. But let's do some house cleaning first. Let's talk about the PNTS network news. Of course, today, which is Thursday, you have SSC Podcast. We're going to air until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, this Saturday, we got SML Podcast with me and the co-host of everything, Project Storm. That is going to be airing at the new time. Make sure you guys are aware of this, because I think a lot of people missed it this past week. The new time is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're now from 11 to 1. Then after that, this Sunday, we have one of my favorite shows, if not mine. Every episode, I'm loving the show more and more and more. It is Yin Meets Yang of Gaming, featuring the co-host of everything, Project Storm, and Snow Bunny. All right. And then definitely don't forget on Wednesdays, the new PNTS show, The Commission, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, what I would like to note, that is also 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because this is a Stadia-related channel. Our homeboy, Eddie Player One, has a show that he runs with Link TV, Megatron X. It is called what? We gonna talk a little bit about that shows. Eddie,
The
for those that are not
Trash
aware,
Mob
The
Show.
Trash Mob. You heard what
Trash
he said.
Mob!
And guess what? We just happen to be members of the mob community.
Trash Mob, and they can catch it today. And what are y'all doing the Trash Mob show, Eddie?
So this past episode, we talked about the game, which is the last one that Link finished, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We went a lot of things on Assassin's Creed Odyssey because next Tuesday it's the release of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So if you want to get to know everything about the franchise Assassin's Creed in preparation for Valhalla, you gotta watch that episode. And on the next week, we're gonna have a Red Dead Redemption special as well.
Snapple. Hey, that's gonna be a tough one.
I love
Red Dead Redemption.
I love what you guys are doing, though. The way you
Absolutely.
break things down, because right now I haven't played Origins yet, so I might have to go in order, man. I'm definitely gonna cop the Odyssey unless I start hearing rumblings about Ubisoft Connect or Ubisoft Plus or whatever, right? If I hear rumblings that that is confirmed early release earlier than the end of the year, then I might hold off. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
That would be a dope entry. We're going to talk about Ubisoft Plus too, but that'll be a dope entry, Storm, to have Origins in there as well, because Origins was a good game. I got it free with my Yeti a couple years ago. So, but no, that's dope stuff. And definitely, either show that you watch, please support the effort. These guys do a lot of great stuff. So even if you are watching the commission, please go watch them video on demand. Or if you're watching them video on demand, we please ask that you come and support us and watch the commission. I mean, if you're watching Trash Mob live, come and watch the commission, the video on demand. We had a great show as well. So definitely great content. There's only so much time, so we can't help it. But definitely, just because you don't catch something live, you can definitely catch it video on demand, whether it's one or the other. All right. With that said, let's get into what you guys been gaming on. Storm, we'll start with you. What have you been playing since the last episode of SSC Podcast?
Whole lot. Too many to name as usual. But hey, look, man. I've been playing some PC, a couple PC games, Destiny 2 on PC, Forza Horizon 4. I've been playing a lot of that, some PUBG. Just about a few other, man, I can't even remember, man. But look, Stadia, I've been playing Far Cry 5, newly dropped, a little bit of that Far Cry New Dawn, and Destiny 2, man. The list goes on and on for me, bro. On and on and on. I don't even want to go into all the titles, but I've been playing a lot of games, man. I'm a gamer. Put the G in gamer.
Absolutely. Now, if you want to see, because Storm has excellent 4K quality content, and I was, I am very guilty of not saying this when we were talking about Trash Mob. If you want to see the content like Trash Mob and more from Eddie Player One, or if you want to see the 4K content from the homie Storm, go to the description. Their links are in the description, and then before the end of the show, I'll make sure that they're in the comment section below as well. With that being said, Eddie, what have you been playing since the last episode of SSC Podcast?
Bro, it's crazy to say this, but I started to play Celeste.
Oh, okay.
And I can't stop playing that shit until I'm done.
Is that good? Is that good?
There were times I've said, okay, I had enough. Okay, I'm not coming back to this. Whatever. It's just another game that I won't finish. And then I go, fuck, I gotta go and pass this motherfucking level. So I keep coming back to it, and I'm on my way to finish Celeste.
That's what's up. Is that frustrating, Eddie, to where you're like, you'll get to a point to where you're like, I forget it, but the competitive nature in you is like, nah, I can't put this thing down.
Definitely.
So you see yourself beating it, Eddie?
No, I am beating it. The moment that so the first two levels, it was like 30 minutes or so to pass it, and the thing is, there's a death count at the end.
Yeah. Wow.
When I finished the third level, say, okay, I'm gonna play just another level. It was about 1 hour and 20 minutes to beat it. And the death count was something like 600 times.
Jeez.
So at this point, I say, all right, I don't care. I'm just gonna finish. I know I'm not be completionist because
Mhm.
you can be completionist just to grab every single thing. No, so no, I just
I
want to
got
beat
you.
the game.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a good game. So it's available on Pro, and we're gonna be I don't know if we're gonna be talking about a Pro because there's another title on Pro as well that I had the opportunity to try, and it surprised the hell out of me.
No. Okay. No, we can. You know what? In the game section, we can definitely. You know,
I
because there's
bet
not
I
a
know
lot.
what he's talking about. I'm sorry. I bet I know what he's talking about because it surprised the hell out of me too if we're talking about the same game. But we'll get into that probably.
Yeah.
Later
Hold that
on.
surprise.
Yeah,
Hold that.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
stay. You gotta stay tuned for the entirety of the show to get that surprise. We'll definitely throw that in there as well. With that said, what I've been playing, I've actually got a chance to do some gaming. I got the shock of the century when and I had to send a message to Grace and Chris at Google because I didn't appreciate them doing that to my old man heart. And I got the shock of the century when the mugs dropped Far Cry 5 on a brother on Super Tuesday. Well, not Super Tuesday, but on Election Day Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And wow, I ran home and played that game. Bought Far Cry 5 because if you don't know,
And
Far
that
Cry
price,
5. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We definitely gonna talk about that. $11.99, yo. Like, really? Like, I've never complained so much about something so good because I'm like, you gotta prepare me for this. You gotta tell me, make sure I gotta go through my medicine tablets and make sure I took all my medicine for Tuesday. I gotta do all that stuff before you drop something like that on me. So Chris and Grace from Google, I still got beef with Google for them doing that, but I'm loving it. I'm loving Far Cry 5. So I've been playing a lot of that. I still got footage though that I recorded, y'all, that I'm still gonna upload. So I'm bringing it up on the new Stadia Dosage channel. I'll put a link to that as well. If you you'll see the bot. Please follow that channel, guys and gals, because I'm not doing streams on this channel anymore. I'm separating the content to give y'all exactly what y'all want. If you want the streams, then come to Stadia Streams. But I know people just want to come and catch the news and the commentary, so I'm separating the two. I also played a little bit of Division, and I got a little bit of Baldur's Gate in. But I want to say primarily my time this week since the last show, it all jump started Tuesday, and it all jump started with Far Cry 5. So that is pretty much it. Let me see here. We got the homie JD. He said, yeah, Stadia got that new and that old new. Shout out to JD. All right, y'all. With no further ado, let's start getting into these topics, man. Whoa. Something weird is going on here. I thought I changed the topics, but I think StreamYard is cutting up. Topic number 1, though. Let's talk about it. Talk about stealth drops. Let's get into it, y'all.
Yeah, stream
Family Share is officially available for all of us to enjoy. Well, it's rolling out. Let me not get too far ahead of myself. Because what I had to do was I had to go and wait a while, and then when I got home from my morning brisk, I noticed it was there, called up my son and said, all right, now you ain't got to ask me to give you any more games. Family Share is officially available, y'all. So let's talk about it. Let's start with Eddie. Let me put this up on the screen first, though. Here it goes. This is courtesy of Google Stadia, of 9 to 5 Google, our homies there. Google Stadia Family Share is officially rolling out. Pro title supported. Google is approaching the 1-year anniversary of Stadia and is about to deliver one of its big promises. Stadia Family Share is now going live for some users. Speaking to 9 to 5 Google confirmed that the feature is rolling out starting today. In a Reddit post, the company further confirmed that the rollout will take about a week. The rollout was spotted by one staff member at Android Police earlier today and has shown up for 2 of us here at 9 to 5 Google. The settings for Stadia Family Share are as expected in the app, showing up in the long available family section, notable through a support page. Also going live this week that reveals how the feature will work. And for those that are not aware, well, before we get there, I'm gonna start with you, Eddie. Eddie, what do you think about family share? What do you think about them stealth dropping it? What are your thoughts?
Family share, awesome. Already tested, works great. My wife, she can play the games that I claimed while I'm playing something else.
Mm-hmm.
The stealth drop, probably, I don't know. I would done it differently. Probably they did this drop and not commented anything on the blog post.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is, it's kind of weird, but I still don't have any my head wrapped about that around that. I'm just happy that it's finally here, and it's probably working the way that I predicted it would. So I'm happy with what I'm getting.
Got you. Storm, what are your thoughts on family share?
I have a whole lot, if you don't mind, that I want to say,
We
because
definitely
I
mind.
see that
It's unacceptable
some
conversation.
people were disappointed in family sharing, man, and I really don't understand why, because we had already had conversations about this months ago, that the fact, that it wasn't going to be just like Xbox game sharing and stuff like that, where you buy a game one time and then you share it with somebody else and you get on the multiplayer and all that stuff. Like, we had already known this for months. So that's why I always just remind people, man, check the news out. You know what I mean? Read up on these things, these features and all that stuff, because this is something that wasn't a surprise at all. For those who might have been disappointed. But hey, I think it's a cool feature. It's not something that I'm really super hyped about. Now, if I could share games with, say, Amunor, you know what I'm saying? If me and him could link up and share games and stuff, then I could buy that Cyberpunk and then both of us could play it, or he could buy whatever next 10 games and then we you know what I'm saying? Then I'll be hype about it. But you know what? It's a new feature. They stealth dropped it. I love those stealth drops. You know that. So that's how I feel about it. I really don't, not overly hype about the whole thing, because it's not going to really benefit me in the way that I want it to. But that's just my personal take.
Look, can I throw something out there? Ask a couple questions in regards to the one at a time thing, because I'm with you, Storm. I had heard this months ago, and I also do remember, Eddie. I think you and Chase had a discussion about this as well. But I remember, I think it was Stadia Cast that had said something where they had got some confirmation on how it was going to work. But let me ask you guys this: on Xbox, can you buy a game and like say if we're sharing it, can two people play that one purchase at a time? Is that how it works on Xbox? Does anybody know?
I can't answer because I don't have an Xbox, but I think if somebody here on chat can answer, they will say yes, you can.
I think you can. You might be able to. Here's the thing though. And the way I see it is like, okay, so in order for Xbox, when they came out this generation, a lot of people forget that they were going to have it. They had set up a system somehow where 9 people. Remember, 9 people were going to be with the whole DRM thing, that they were going to allow 9 people to be able to play a game at once. You were going to be able to set up a family, and your family could have up to 9 people that could play a game at once. That's bonkers. I don't even know how they worked that out. I don't know what royalties they gave up. I don't know what the case was. But when Donnie
it is crazy to think about that, because the deals when you're making with the publisher, you're saying, publisher, you will be selling 1 license of a game.
Yes.
That 9 licenses.
9. Yeah. That's nuts.
But they're confirming here that you can do that on the Xbox.
You can do that. Okay.
And JD confirmed it on PlayStation as well.
Okay. So with them, you had multiple people. Now we got to take into consideration two things. Number one, Xbox and PlayStation make a lot of money for these publishers. So Stadia is new. They don't have the leverage that these other platforms are going to have in order to do that. Now, some people may say, well, Amazon Luna does it. Well, Amazon Luna isn't selling you a license that you get to keep based upon it's part of a subscription. It's easier to do it for subscription stuff.
And by the way, I think please somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong. But on Amazon Luna, that won't work for the Ubisoft channel.
Yeah, it won't work for the Ubisoft channel. No, it won't. You're right. You're absolutely right. So even though the Ubisoft channel, thank you, Eddie, for that. Even though the Ubisoft channel is a subscription model, they're like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. So we got to take that into consideration. That Xbox, PlayStation, they got leverage. And again, this is the early days of Stadia. This is a new platform. It's just like when the OG Xbox hit the scene. You can't have X. You couldn't fathom that the OG Xbox, even within its first generation, was going to be able to get you the exclusives that the PlayStation had. PlayStation had a long lineage. They had relationships established. It took Xbox some time to win over those partnerships, and it's going to take it's going to take Google the same thing. Also, keep in mind that the most open sharing platform of them all, PC, quote unquote, Steam, does the same thing that Stadia is doing. If you do family sharing on Steam, you cannot play the same game more than once with one. You know what I'm saying? I know that because there was a bunch of us in the broadband bullies that thought otherwise. You can't do it on Xbox, so we had assumed that you could do it on Steam. And when we found out that you couldn't do it on Steam, because we're like, the games are cheaper on Steam, so we're gonna do it on Steam. We got our behinds handed to us mentally. So this isn't something weird. This isn't something new. Again, Stadia only has so much leverage right now, so it's understandable. They're dealing with licenses. This isn't subscriptions like Amazon. So with their Amazon Plus, they can do it. And secondly, Steam does it this way too. Just to put that out there, so for full transparency. With all that said, y'all, I'm gonna start with Eddie again, and then go with Storm. How big is this internally? Like, how big I know how you guys feel about it, but how big do you think it is to the current consumer base within Stadia? Start with Eddie first.
It's hard to just say expectation of people, but I feel like part of them would be thinking, oh, with family share, I'm gonna be able to play let's say a Madden with my friend. Not Madden, because Madden you do have local multiplayer. Let's say The Division. So I'm gonna be playing The Division together with somebody that I'm gonna be putting on my family. But then you realize that you can't. I feel like it can be a little bit frustrating at the beginning for those ones who were imagined that will be that way. But then I think it's gonna be all right. It's all right. So we can share this huge library of games. I have my library. You have your library. Maybe we play different things, and you can enjoy my whole library right now, and I can enjoy yours.
Yep.
And thinking again that family share, it's supposed to be for the household of you. Like, yeah. So like my wife, she want to play something, she can play something while I'm not playing. So anyway, yeah.
What are your thoughts, Storm? How big on this do you think this will be internally?
Well, I think it will be an inconvenience for a lot of people. I will say that. For the people that want it to be similar to the Game Pass option or whatever, or not Game Pass, but you could. I think
Xbox.
Xbox. You know what I'm talking about. I was just trying to think for a minute whether, because I have never tried it. If I have a Game Pass subscription, and if I'm game sharing with somebody, could they play those games too? I'm sure they have it. Yeah. They well, can. It's yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at the Google Play Pass or whatever it's called, right? I don't know if too many people are familiar with that, but it's the Google Play Pass. And I think it's a similar setup where, I know I read somewhere before about this being similar to what we're seeing on Stadia. So it made me go back and check it out. And it's saying, basically, I think it's the same type of situation where you can't. And I might have to throw this in the chat, man, and we might have to take a look because it's something similar. So yeah, but right now I think it's an inconvenience. MM2K as I read this right here that I have on my screen. I think it's an inconvenience, but I don't know if it's something they could tweak for the future because of the disappointment from certain gamers that's sure to come. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. But I'll get back to you if something else pops up.
My thoughts on it is, it's not as robust as PlayStation and Xbox, but for me, it still is a lifesaver. And especially if you have kids, that even it's like there's positives and there's negatives. The negatives, of course, are it's only one person at a time, but I can understand why that, and we got to understand. I think, in my opinion, we got to understand the situation where Stadia's at. I mean, just imagine if you're a publisher and Stadia says we would like to have multiple people play this at one time, and I'm looking at you like, no, like no, not right now. Maybe in a year or two we'll give you some money. No, not right. No, absolutely not. You don't have the type of money, you don't have the type of money that I'm going to want for you to allow that to happen. That being said, I think that it's a lifesaver for parents in general. Parents like myself who have kids that just want to play games all the time. Like I have almost the entire catalog of Stadia games, just about. And my son wants to play all of them. And even though we may not be able to play together off of one game, like right now while I'm podcasting, he can go, you know what I'm saying? He can go play something. So even though he may want to play Far Cry 5, he knows I can't play Far Cry 5 all day. So
and each one of you will have different saves.
Yeah.
And also you can control parental control.
Yep.
To define if no, I don't want my son to play this kind of game or that kind of thing.
Absolutely. No, and that was important to bring up because you do have control over it, and that's something to where you just have to work it out. Hey, look, I'm playing Far Cry 5 right now. Get out of here, run. No, I'm playing Far Cry 5 right now, but I'll let you do it in the afternoon when I hop on a Division. Again, it does suck if you want to play the games together, but the best thing to do is if it's something that you definitely want to play together, wait for a sale and, buy multiple ones, and then you can, then you open up how many people in the house can share it.
Wait, you think that there's sales on Stadia?
Yeah. Believe no. I'm lying. Everything on Stadia is $80. Even the DLC, everything's $80,
right?
According to some people,
and no less than $80.
No less than 80, and everything's at $80 and above. So it's like as soon as I found out about it, I called my son and I said, "Do not ask me to buy you another game. Everything that you want is in my catalog. Leave me the hell alone." And I know he's plugging away right now. So if I run into a situation where he's on fire and I told him, I said, stay away from Far Cry 5. I said, you can play whatever you want, stay the hell away from Far Cry 5. He said, he said, I want to play that old crap, but you got it, Dad. And I said, okay, fine. So, he's probably plugging away. Well, I already bought him the Division, but there's so many other games that I know he wanted to play, Risk of Rain 2, all this other stuff. He's plugging away at it. So he's having a grand old time. So that's fine. So again, bittersweet. You would love it to be more than one person. I would expect that maybe next year it'll grow where there will be more than one person as the platform grows. But right now, I know it sucked. But look, imagine I can understand Stadia, but imagine my disappointment that you can't play more than one person on Steam. So all my PC people.
I know. Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I dropped the link in the private chat, man. Okay. You can put that on the screen at some point while we're still on this subject, man, because this right here is, I'm wondering if there's some type of possibility. I'm confused, and I just need you and Eddie to help me break this down, what I'm seeing right here. And I can tell you exactly where to scroll once you get it up on the screen. But go ahead, Eddie. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know what? I want more than family sharing and everything. I want a family plan.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, for just as on Spotify you have Spotify your account and you have Spotify family, like something a pro membership for I don't know,
Four people.
$18-19, where I
Yeah.
can have my family on the pro.
Yeah. That would be dope. Yeah. And that way you ain't got to worry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, I agree. I think a sweet spot, Eddie, would be $25 a month. Let's get 4 people on for $25 a month.
True.
You know what I mean? And like you said, everybody has access to pro. So where maybe the AAA games we might have to buy, we might have to wait for them to come on sale. At least like a Risk of Rain 2, we can play together. You know what I mean? So no, I'm totally with you on that one. And I think, and Eddie, I think that would be more fathomable than a pro yearly bundle. I don't think we're getting a pro yearly bundle anytime soon. I don't think so. I just think with the number of games that we get, and honestly, the quality of the games that we see in there, I don't see. And again, I'm not saying this is what I want. I would love to see a pro bundle for like $70 a year or something like that, but I doubt it financially. I don't. But I think it would be more fathomable for them to do a family plan. 4 or 5 people can join a family plan for $25 a month. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm sorry. Hey, Storm, what part of the screen did you want me to?
Go down to the one. It's like this little Google Play icon. There's blue, red, yellow, and green, or whatever. Like where it says, "Can you share Google Play Pass?" If you scroll down.
Okay, I see it. Yep.
Yeah, all right, right there. Right now, let's check this out. It says, "Yes, you can." I mean, it said, basically, it says, "Yes, you can." Not only that, but there's no family plan cost required, which means it will be the $199 to $499 monthly cost for everyone, right? It says before you can share the subscription, though, you have to set up a family group in your Play Store account, right? So then right here inside the actual, right under the little icon that I was just saying, family managers can share access to Google Play Pass with up to 5 other family members, so everyone can enjoy their own devices, right? But again, what I'm looking for is the magic. Like, hey, if I have a subscription, can I share this with you and you not have to pay for it? Or is it saying that you have to pay for this to get everything that I'm getting? That's the confusing part.
Okay, so if I would say the 3 of us were in a family plan, and say if I had Stadia Pro, you could get access to the same games that I get, but you don't get the 4K. This Dolby surround, the surround sound, you don't get that. You got to be a pro member in order to get that, but you get access to the games per the family sharing thing. And that kind of sounds like what this is. It doesn't sound like you get there might be more perks to this. I don't know. It doesn't sound like you get all the perks. It just sounds like that you get access to the games,
Yeah, got you.
And maybe that's how Google's going to plan to run it. And but for this, I can see them open it up more, but right now for the other Google stuff, for Stadia, I don't really see them being able to do too much. You know what I mean? Those are just my thoughts.
All right.
What about externally, guys? How big externally do you think this will be? Do you think? I mean, I know we talked about how Stadia launched this, which I will admit is peculiar because why would they just put it in Reddit? I get a feeling, and anybody who ever wants to chime in on this can chime in on it. I get a feeling that this not only is like a test phase for Stadia as they try to see, how the platform is going to work, but then this is a test phase for their marketing. But I don't know a scenario where you get data extracted and you look at it and you say, oh, okay, well, it might be a good idea for us to put a message out on Reddit that affects everybody, but we know that everybody don't go to Reddit.
Right. If they, and with that being said, I don't think they wanted it to be like a lot of fuss. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the 14, it reminds me of the 1440p integration in Chrome or whatever. It's kind of like the same type of stealth drop where it's there now. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you should let somebody know, but at the same time, it's some people are probably not going to care, but they still need to know about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I see both sides of that. I see both sides. Like they stealth drop it because it's not major news. It's not groundbreaking. It's not crowd play. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like how they would look at crowd choice or whatever. They would just say, hey, by the way, family sharing is an option. If you ever go to the settings or whatever, you could see family, and then you click on that. If anybody ever wanted to know, because it would be available. You know what I'm saying? If you had questions, you click on it, it would tell you exactly what was available. Family share. So
Eddie,
I know it might not sound the best to some people, but man, I'm good with it either way because it doesn't really impact me that much.
But
Eddie,
Project had an excellent point here because it's probably a quiet rollout
and
because
it is a rollout. Yeah.
Yeah.
but I just don't understand why they're doing this quietly yet. They probably want to do a big announcement of everything that they've been preparing, like the YouTube integration, crowd play, the messaging on the app. Um, I don't understand why they decided to roll out the feature. Probably, if I may take a guess, I would say it's because something technical. So they mm, so here's the deal. When you are working on tech companies like that, there are so-called windows of promotion. It's when
Mhm.
you promote the code from the test environments, the QA environments, to production, to push to everybody. So if they missed this window, probably they could have need to wait much more, like 2 weeks or even a month, to make this piece available. So that could be an option why they did the silence rollout.
Or Eddie, they could be getting ready. They could be planning a recap maybe for the anniversary to talk about, hey, this is in 1 year. This is everything that we've launched
Yeah.
with
Look what
Stadia. You
we've
know what I'm saying?
done. Look
Yeah,
what
like
we've
this
done.
is
Yeah,
what we've done. We've
possibly.
rolled out this, as gamers who like different resolutions, and then family sharing, and then crowd choice, and then if they want to go back and do a little sizzle reel or something like that, then I could see that happening too.
Shout out to Bill of Stadia Cast. Run Jump Stomp is in the house. He says might
Bill.
be that they will make a bigger announcement once it's on all accounts, and that leads to what Project Storm just said, and that's a
Yeah.
possibility. But y'all know how I roll. You know that I have a mass abundance of Reynolds wrap in my house, and I got 10-4 hats for days. So I'm putting on my 10-4 hat. Right now, that's the 10-4 hat noise. I don't know where that came from. Excuse me, y'all. I'm putting on the 10-4 hat. Eddie, Storm, Chat, Bill, everybody, answer this for me. Get this out of my mind if this is crazy thinking. Do y'all think that maybe they rolled this out slowly, primarily for everything that everybody said, but primarily because they were concerned about the fuss of what we just talked about, the fact that you can only do family sharing with one person at a time? How likely is it? Could it be that?
In comparison to if you want to, xCloud is competition. If they have it included on xCloud at some point, then of course it doesn't look too good. So I get where you're coming from. It makes sense to me too, because if it was something that gamers could benefit from, it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and announce that, like let the people know that available now. Blah blah blah. But if it doesn't compare to what Xbox and PlayStation is doing with their sharing options, then yeah, it might disappoint some people. So like I said, I can see it. I don't have a problem with it. I think they put a reason out there as far as why they didn't want it to be the way we want it to be, which is you buy the game, you share the multiplayer, you hop on the same game at one time. I think there's an explanation out there for it, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's one for the Play Pass that we just saw. So that's how I feel about it, man. I get you though. I get where you're going.
Eddie, what do you think? Is my 10-4 hat lopsided, or is it pointing to the sky in the right direction? It's aligned with the stars. What do you think?
No, I think that could be a miss. I feel like in this scenario, there's no reason because they already said before it was already published on 9 to 5, Android Police, and other websites how family share
Yep.
would work.
Yep.
So if anybody is had the wrong expectations, it's because they didn't do their due diligence on reading on this. So I feel like this quiet release there's nothing to do with the capabilities of family sharing.
All right, and right now I'm hearing is there only one other family member that you could share with, or is more than one?
I feel like it's 4 or 5.
Okay, all right, okay.
It's
So
4 or
that's
5 you can share with.
similar.
Yeah.
Okay, it's similar to Play Pass.
But
What it is it's kind of like Play Pass integration. That's all, and that's what I've been telling. So that makes me excited about this thing because all of this technology that Google has at its disposal, like I kept saying, can be integrated into Stadia to make Stadia a better platform quickly. Not over the years now. I'm talking about quickly. All they have to do is just say, hey, let's roll this in. We got this, and it's gonna be cool. I like it. I mean, I don't know, but family, that right there, it does leave a bad taste in my mouth because I would like to be able to say, MM2K, man, I trust you with my email. Let's link up, bro. You already got my email any damn way. I have yours. Let's plug it in. I buy Cyberpunk. You buy Chorus.
Yeah.
And we're good, man. Let's rock out.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's what we do on Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going to take some time, people. Bill threw in another comment that I wanted to highlight because we talked about this earlier. Doesn't Steam lock down your entire library if somebody's sharing it? This is much better than that. It doesn't lock down your whole library, Bill, but this family sharing operates exactly how Steam's family sharing operates, which in my opinion, I can sympathize with because Stadia is only a fraction of what Steam is. I can't get why in the world Steam does what they're doing with this. Maybe it's because I don't know, but you would think that Steam is being as big as they are, over 1 billion accounts on Steam, right? That more than one person can play a game at a time. So I'm more flabbergasted at Steam than I am at Google. I'm disappointed, but I can understand why it's like that again, because if I'm a publisher at the other end of the table and I don't care who it is, and you're like, hey, look, what we would like to do here at Stadia is we would like to have a family sharing plan with with more than one person, just 2 people at a time. Mr. Publisher, what do you think about that? And please let us know in full detail. I'll be like, absolutely. Nope. That's all. Nope. You guys aren't beefy enough for that. Nope. So I get it, but it's still a disappointment. But that was a great question from Bill, and a great thing to highlight again that Steam does exactly this, and people are okay with it on Steam. So whatever.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not going to stop you from playing those games.
Exactly. And like I said, when I got home, guys, I called my son. I said, son, don't ask me to buy you anything. I got 2 things. Don't ask me to buy you anything else because now you got access to my whole library. He said, awesome, Dad. Oh, you're the greatest. And I said, secondly, keep your grimy little fingers off Far Cry 5. And I said, you will make it to C-15. And he said, okay, Dad, I don't want to play that old game anyway. And I said, okay, great. Well, you have a wonderful day, son.
It all works out then.
So, yeah. So, again, it's disappointing for us that want to be active with game sharing like how we are on Xbox and PlayStation. Hopefully, if we support the platform, y'all, let's spread the good word. The more support it gets, the more lucrative to where in that scenario where I'm not published at the other end and I'm like, nope. I'm like, okay, let's talk. Let's figure out how we can make this happen. The more likely that'll happen next year if there's more people on the platform. But with that said, for people like me that just want to get access to their children and stuff like that, this is a lifesaver. Absolutely a lifesaver. So, all right. Any other thoughts on that, my friends, before we move on and we go to the chat? Because the chat is blowing up about this.
Not at all.
Go ahead, Eddie. Were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say not at all.
Let's go.
Okay.
Stadia Source says, can we be a part of MM2K's family? Share your games with us. See, this is the thing that people do with Xbox and PlayStation, and maybe the publishers aren't happy with that. You guys think we're going to be talking about next generation talk, so maybe we can
squeeze it in there.
Yeah, squeeze that in there. But maybe they're not happy about that because a lot of people are getting together, and sharing games and doing all types of stuff.
I mean, when you think like that from a profitability sense, man. Hey, I get where you're coming from, but hey, let's talk about that during that console talk then.
Yep.
Because man,
our good friend Cold Blood Sensei, the Stadia lover, he says, I just came in here to hear damage control of the highest degree.
And it's not, man. We just have to talk about it, Cold Blood. And we just compare. We just gave Xbox kudos and PlayStation kudos and everything in the same breath.
Chase says, you got to be straightforward with consumers. I just think that it is either wait until the full rollout, which is the case that don't announce on Reddit, or 2, just being Google. Yeah, I don't. I mean, Eddie talked me off the ledge. I don't think it's my tinfoil hat thing. I think what it may be, guys and gals, is like Eddie said. I think it's a combination of what Eddie and Bill said. I think Eddie said, when you roll initiatives out just like this, Google's a technical company. They're not the greatest marketers, and I'm not excusing that. It's something that they got to grow on, but we kind of get that. So whenever they roll out things, they're always thinking of it from a technical aspect and not really hitting all cylinders on the marketing aspect of it. I don't understand why you don't have a message, a standardized message, because you got to look at each platform agnostically. Like, it pains me saying this.
Go ahead. About each platform agnostic, they have, since we're talking about family share, before setting up a family share, you got to set up a family group.
Yeah.
So that family group that you set up, it's the same family group that you have on the Play Store, for example.
Yep.
So I already had that set up, for example, because my wife can make the Play Store purchases with the same credit card, one credit card for everything. So to set up the family share here, I just had to click one button, which was enable family share. So it's already part of the whole Google ecosystem, the family share that we're getting. But the part of sharing more than one game is probably something to do with publishers as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just think that when it comes to communication, you got to treat each platform agnostically. I get exactly what Storm says makes absolute sense. It's just me. Maybe it's the old man in me, because I don't mind the Reddit. Let me say it like that. I don't mind the Stadia Reddit, but I don't frequent there. You see what I'm saying? You're more likely to catch me on the Discord or on Twitter. So,
which, by the way, they have been already on silence on Twitter about family sharing.
Yeah, and that's what led me to my tinfoil hat theory about them not wanting too much attention on this, because the vitriol might have been a concern. Well, it's not. It doesn't work like, it doesn't work like Xbox or PlayStation. The Homers or the Simpson meme where they're all finger pointing at status, or maybe they thought that was the best way to do it. But I don't know. But I think that's what it is. So it's a combo of what Eddie and Bill said with the understanding of what Storm said. It's never about what I said. I just make up crazy stuff. Who else we got in the chat? We got Born Borston, who says, I think since it's a slow rollout, they don't want to announce it big time. They also know if someone get it, it'll be on Reddit. So post it on Reddit and roll it out slowly, then push a notification. Makes sense as well. That makes sense, Born. All right, guys and gals, those were great comments. We're going to move on to the next topic, which
Can't wait.
Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. Those games were stealth dropped onto Stadia. Ray Sherrod in the house. What's going on, my friend? What do you guys think? What is going on here? Something's up with stream. Hey, StreamYard, do me a favor. Stop changing my titles after I save them. And what is it? New Dawn and New Dawn. Makes me look bad on air. Okay, Far Cry 5 and New Dawn. There we go. Boom. They were stealth dropped. Eddie, we kind of like hinted towards this earlier in the show, but I'm gonna let Storm talk on this first, because Storm called me up. He was like, he wanted to make sure I wasn't having heart palpitations. He said, bro, they did it. I said, did what? He said, Far Cry 5 is there. And I wept like a baby,
Yo, he's not lying. He's not lying.
I wept. My wife had to hold me up. I almost fell and knocked over the TV. I said, you can't be serious. And he said, no, this ain't it. He said, you ain't done crying. He said, keep the handkerchief out. You ain't done crying. He said, bro, the base game is $11.99. And I wept even more.
He's not lying.
Storm, I'm gonna go to you first, bro.
Hey,
What are your
look.
thoughts on this price and the competitive? We're gonna talk about that because Eddie has some tweets on it, and I had some tweets on it. We're gonna talk about that price, Eddie. But first, we're gonna go to Storm. Storm, what do you think about how they dropped this and the price that they released this with?
First of all, oh man, another good topic. Let me just jump right into it, man, with my thoughts. First of all, it's a banger of a game. It's a game that I intentionally skipped out again. There's a lot of games like Red Dead and this and other games that I skipped out intentionally for because I knew it was going to come to Stadia. Now I knew it well in advance because I just had the faith, and it just kind of made sense with Ubisoft. Remember back when I was saying Ubisoft games, man, they're going to come and they're going to fill out this library. I said that, man, like over 6-7 months ago, and it's happening, man. So when I and we had already known it was going to come because we had heard, we saw the buzz about some of the older Ubisoft games getting ready to drop, right? But there was still nothing like seeing it. And then not only seeing it live, just seeing the prices. I bought the standard games because I was so excited that I didn't see that they had the Ultimate Edition and the Deluxe Edition, right? So I had to get a refund because I accidentally pulled the trigger on the wrong damn game. I said, wait a minute, $11.99 for this game, but then I'm looking at this game, this whole set for $17 or whatever, $17.99 or whatever.
Yes.
Yo, it's like, why? It's like, how can I not buy the Ultimate Edition? How can I not at that point? Now I missed out on the game intentionally, but then it drops on Stadia, stealth drops, and then everything is included. So when I went to go do the stream, you can find that on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I went to go do the 4K stream that I always do, realized that the game wasn't at 60 frames per second, didn't give a damn. And you know how we feel about 60 mm. We don't do 30.
Yeah.
We just don't do it. But I swear I had to make an exception for Far Cry 5 and New Dawn. Now, New Dawn does not perform like 5 does. Neither one of them performs like you would find on a PC that you will spend good money for at 60 FPS to play those games. But I'm still happy because it just says a lot. And I know we got people out there, a lot of people out there like, oh, hell no, I'm waiting on that Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah.
See, this is why you can't let me go. You can't let me go first because
no. You're making a lot of sense,
bro.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So some people are like, yo, man, I'm waiting for this Ubisoft Plus. It just makes sense. And I'm not mad at you for doing that. I think it's a smart decision. I think it makes sense. However, for this price, for the Ultimate Edition, I got to support these devs. I had to support Stadia on this one. Stadia, whoever made that happen for the prices to be what they are, kudos to you all. I salute you. Keep on doing that. That was major, man. Loving the game. The performance is good enough for me. It feels good. It looks beautiful. You don't believe me? Check out the content.
Yeah. Eddie, did you pick up Far Cry 5?
Not yet, but I'm still debating.
I mean,
no, I'm one of those guys that Project was saying, because I was still debating, thinking, okay, I'll probably save it because of Uplay Plus. But right now, I have every single game from Ubisoft on the platform, and if I look for Far Cry Ultimate Edition, which sells over $100. For $17.99. Come on, I probably will pick it up before the sale ends because it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Not picking it up.
I mean, for real though.
I don't want to.
If you don't want to go for the Ultimate Edition, the vanilla for $12.
$12, Eddie. You're not even that mad if it does come to Uplay Plus, because you know that you only pay $11.99 for the game to jump into it right away, especially for the content creators, like for all the community members and who love playing these games for their viewers and stuff. Man, it just makes it even that much sweeter. You know what I'm saying? Like the one video I dropped is doing pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not on fire, but it's pretty dang decent to just drop a Far Cry game out there and have hundreds of people come by to check it out. That it says a lot. And some people are like, wow, it looks good, it looks beautiful. You know what I mean? Is it 60?
The story of Far Cry 5 is great.
Oh, and they don't even care that it's not 60. So we make a lot of noise, but a lot of the gamers just want to jump in and play the game with no downloads. And then not to mention the fact that after I saw the news, you know what I mean? First of all, I saw the tweets on Twitter. I went to the store and it was there. So you can imagine how I felt. I clicked the play button, the buy button, right? Jump right into the game, drop the video. It was that simple. So go ahead, MM. I mean, man, you got me hype. I love these games. I love what Ubisoft is doing. I like that partnership, and even bigger things are coming. I'm telling y'all right now from Ubisoft and Stadia.
So here's something that I also wanted to take into consideration and get you guys' thoughts on. So here was a tweet that I took from the homie, your boy Twiz. Shout out to him. Definitely check out his content. I think he sat Yang Ye in the corner and said, "Look, man, it's time for you to stop." And I think Yang Ye actually listened. So, but no, he put out.
Can't help.
Yeah, get it. It was at that Michael. Yeah, the MJ gift. So Twiz says games on Stadia are more expensive than anywhere else. Quotation marks. Stadia doesn't get good sales. And you look at Far Cry 5, the base model, $11.99 on Stadia, and then $17.99 for the Ultimate Edition, right? And then you go to Steam, and here goes the prices.
How much is the Ultimate Edition regular price? 90, I think I saw.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, or yeah, no, the Ultimate Edition is normally, if you go to Ubisoft, I think it goes for 100. Their Ultimate Editions normally go for 100.
Wow.
Because they're packed with so much stuff. So this is the gold edition. This isn't the Ultimate Edition. The gold edition is on a lower tier than the Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition is only $17.99 on Stadia. It's $80. The gold edition is $89.99 on Steam. That's nuts. So I took it a step further. And I said, well, hold on. I want to throw this in there. And if you go to xbox.com, it's Far Cry and Far Cry 5. If you want the Dawn Deluxe Edition, which is just the deluxe editions of both games, it's $100.
Wow.
You can get the deluxe edition of Far Cry New Dawn and the Ultimate Edition, which is actually an upgrade of what you're getting here. An Ultimate Edition of Far Cry 5. So you're getting more, and the combination of that is $36. No. I'm sorry. It's 15 plus 18. It's $33. So for a third of the price, you can get more content than you can on Xbox right now. And to Twiz's point, games on Stadia are more expensive than anywhere else. See, this is the type of stuff, y'all. This is why I tell y'all we're kind of like in the post Stadia super early access phase, where when people start bloviating online, all you got to do is take clips like this, copy it. I got them bookmarked everywhere. Don't even engage them in long threads. Just put this out there and go about your business. Because what you do then, because I get the concern that we have. We don't want unsuspecting gamers seeing that rhetoric go out there unchecked. But if you just drop a link out there, the unsuspecting gamer will see that you dropped the link out there, shut up the whole bibble babble, and went about your business. And that doesn't give credence to the person that just wants to go and shake their fists and yell about something that they don't even know what they're talking about. So amazing stuff. What are you guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts overall on this, on these price revelations? You get so much for so less on Stadia opposed to anywhere else.
You go ahead, Eddie.
Hey, Amanor, where are you?
Amanor. He's excited. Hey, Amanor, leave him alone. He's excited about these consoles that's coming, man. Even though you might not be able to go ahead and get that pre-order fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have to worry about that on Stadia.
I was just joking with him.
Nah, I know. Me too. But we don't have to worry about pre-orders and all that. And extra SSDs and all that good stuff too. You know, hey, we just jump in the cloud, man, and we just no downloads, no installs, no patches and updates, stuff like that. We just jump on some of the latest games, you know, like Watch Dogs, Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk when it drops, and other games, you know, Sekiro. Yeah, man, it's amazing. So that's how I feel about it. MM2K, Far Cry 5. bringing value to the platform. You can't discount the game. It's a AAA banger by a AAA development studio and publisher. I mean, come on, man. What else is what? Come on, man.
What were you saying, Eddie, about
Amonor? Jokes apart with Amonor. We said this once, which is sales comes and go everywhere.
Exactly.
So right now we're having a huge sale on Stadia, and Steam is having regular prices, and could be down in the future that Steam or PlayStation will be having prices on sale, and Stadia not. I just gotta say, when you see a deal, just go and buy your deal. And if you're interested in buying the platform you want, but this deal here is too much of a good deal to pass.
And for MM2K's sake, all those games, you will find old games on everybody's sales. Xbox, Steam, PlayStation, Nintendo. If they ever go on sale, because Nintendo, how they do things. But look, that's one thing I just wanted to call out, man. Is so many people are talking about the old games. Yeah, good. Yeah, hey, good job. You got that a year later. Yep. Check out what's on PS Plus and what's coming to PlayStation now, and what's coming at Game Pass and all of these places, man. So we got that's another thing, MM2K, that I like to do to kind of like quiet the noise. I just point those things out too. Like, hey, guess what, man? I looked at your games with gold last month, man. Yeah, it was some old stuff in there, and then the conversation just shuts up.
So here's the thing, though. But see, we gotta watch ourselves. We gotta show the respect. We can't get too big for our britches, guys. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Amonor says the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One Series X will bring peace and unrest to the world. So we don't want to stop that, because PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will apparently bring peace and unrest to an uncivil world. All right, and Stadia is just not on that level yet. No, Edward put that in the chat yesterday. I got a chuckle out of it. So that's his. When all else fails, when all of his rhetoric falls flat on his face, that's his final go-to. That's his final crutch. That the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X will bring peace to the world. With that said, yeah, man, I think this is phenomenal. And again, I think we're at a point now where I think personally, I thought it was important, because I'm telling you, I'm in gaming sectors where other gamers had a lot of influence on unsuspecting gamers, and I just know because of that if we were too quiet, that too many people, like our homie Squid, big time supporter of the channel, Squid says, you know what, I listened to the rhetoric at first. And, and 6'4" has said this too, and credit him for this. He says, people, when you hear a whole bunch of people saying something, like if you're walking down the street and you see a whole bunch of people, like 100 people sitting there saying, don't go down there, it's trouble. Oh, I mean, your natural instinct is to say, well, I'm going to turn around and go the other way, because why are 100 people sitting here telling me not to go down the street? And the same thing applies to Stadia. If you got 100 people sitting there telling you, oh my goodness, Stadia is trash, it doesn't do this or whatever. And even though they're not getting to everybody yet, but they're getting to enough, as the unsuspecting gamer, you might turn around when you actually might walk into something that might benefit you. But if at least as you got some people on the periphery coming through on trucks, like, hold on, these people are crazy. I don't know why they're out here. Here goes a picture of what's actually going on down the street. There's a carnival. You're going to have fun. They just want you here so you don't go have fun at the carnival. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a counter narrative that actually shows facts, it goes a long way to help people like Squid. With that being said, I think we're well beyond that phase to where we're engaging too much with the naysayers. I think we'll come to a point to where we just take these snippets. Whenever somebody says something out of character, if you want to do it out of concern because you just want the facts there, just drop the link and move about your business. Another great resource that I use all the time, I don't even pull up my own videos. I go use Project Storm's videos. I'm like, oh, Stadia can't do 4K? Okay, well, here goes an example of 4K. Oh, man, that looks fantastic. I had a conversation in Skill Up if you guys don't know him, Skill Up is a big time Stadia denier. He hates Stadia, you know. But I had a conversation in his thread where I was talking to somebody. Somebody said, "Oh, there seems to be a lot of you guys that like this Stadia. Do you think it's worth it?" And I said, "Here, let me show you why it's worth it." And I took a copy of Project Storm's 4K Division 2 video and I put it out there. And he said, "Oh man, that's great, but I don't think I have the internet." And I said, "Bro, I had the same type of productivity on 50 up and 50 down. I recommend 100 up and 100 down, but I got it on 50 up. Oh, really? All right, thank you. I'm gonna give it a try." You know what I'm saying? Don't go into these long, drawn out threads with the idiot herd anymore. I think it's pointless now. But with that said, any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Nope.
I do want to ask this question though. Performance. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It started off a little rocky for me. Now, I know you don't have it yet, Eddie, but I want to get to questions from the chat. Is it still rocky for y'all? It smoothed out a little bit more for me. And I did have a hard time, but it's my favorite game of the generation. I did have a hard time dealing with the lack of lack of 60 frames per second mode. And I was starting to get concerned. But the homie, Lloyd Henderson,
both this because I didn't get it, but I was talking to a friend who got it. He was saying that he was feeling different if it was keyboard and mouse or on the Chromecast. Did you guys try it on different places to feel like a difference?
No, I tried it on CCU, and like I said, you could see some of the choppiness and stuff in the background, but the game feels good, latency wise and all that stuff. It's definitely playable, man. It's just not that locked 60 that we get spoiled by. That's all.
Yeah. And that is true. I still have yet, and I was actually thinking about that earlier today, Eddie. I need to try it on a CCU. But chat, let me know. I mean, are you guys experiencing any issues with Far Cry 5 if you have it? Just to put it out there.
Let me say this too. Depending on what type of display you have, if you have a monitor with low input latency and all that, like a millisecond or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, these games feel better. I got a new display, and I'm telling y'all right now, the difference was crazy. It went from Stadia works great to Stadia's console, like native console, like right now for me. And I don't know if auto low latency and stuff like that is turned on automatically with Stadia, because I know it does it with the consoles and PC on the TV that I have, which is the Samsung Q80T, right? I'm beginning to wonder if, I know game mode is on, but when game mode is on, I'm wondering if ALLM is on as well, which is auto low latency, which is just like the name implies. It cuts out, it makes the latency low, put it like that. So I'm telling y'all right now, I'm able to pull off headshots in these games. And that's why I think when I'm saying things are smooth, like Sekiro feels like 120 hertz and Destiny feels like 120 hertz, Division 2 and all these games feels like 120, it might have a lot to do with that, because if you look at the Series X, they're big on latency as well with the RDNA architecture or whatever, right? All about improving latency. The 120 hertz, I said it in the video that I made when it went on the Xbox One X. It also helps to reduce latency. It's going to feel real good for the people that's fortunate enough to have a 4K 120 TV. So if you went out there and bought one, you should soon see what I was talking about, what I'm saying right now. I mean, so all that stuff gets me excited, man. So Far Cry feels good, even though I would shut off the average game if it wasn't running 60 FPS. It's something about Far Cry that feels good. I could drive, I could pull off moves with the ATV, and just everything feels good, man. The targeting, all that. I turned off aim assist, still got kills just like I had it on. It's crazy.
Yeah. The game looks great, by the way, in 4K. It doesn't look bad in 1080 either. It looks, in talking to Lloyd yesterday, he made a lot of sense in explaining that. And it made sense to me, because I'm like, isn't this the PC port? Lloyd, there shouldn't be anything locked, but I have this on PC, and I remember that one of the components of the PC port is that you can lock the frames. So maybe what the focus was here was to get Far Cry 5 to look great on Stadia, And in order for them to do that the way that they wanted to, they had to lock it to 30 frames. And if you lock something to 30 frames, it doesn't matter if there's frame doubling techniques or not, you're not getting more than 30 frames. So I will say that the game looks fantastic. You can see some of it here. I don't know if the stream is giving it justice. You can see some of it here, but the game in 4K looks fantastic on Stadia. I knew that there was some performance things going on, and I just wanted to know how people felt about it. But I play on my PC. I don't play on the CCU, so we'll see. I'm gonna start. I'm when I do a stream today, I'm gonna play on my CCU and give it a try there. So. But overall thoughts on this, man. I mean, you guys. I mean, what do you guys think about this? I'll start with you, Eddie, first. I mean, do you think it's okay that they dropped this? You think this is good that they dropped this with the price, or do you think it would have been better just to have it wait until Ubisoft Plus came out? What do you think?
No, it's good. Again, there are a lot of people who are not planning to keep their pro subscription and are still on the trial, and they're able to get this huge deal. So it's good that for the consumer, it's good, and it's good for Ubisoft as well. They can make a buck of a game which is at this point outdated because they're already working on the sequence.
Oh, 6, yeah, absolutely, that is true.
And some people might look at it as like a cash grab, but I think it just makes sense. Like before we give you the value of Uplay Plus, and I know it might not sound consumer friendly to some, but to others who understand the logic of how business works and how these publishers and these devs do things. Now, I'm not saying that I'm with all the moves that they make, like microtransactions and all this crazy stuff, right? But what I'm saying is, if you lower it to a price that's appealing and that's easy on my pockets, then I have a little bit of respect for you, even if you're about to launch it or include it with Uplay Plus or whatever in the upcoming weeks. So, but I will go back to this, man. Just seeing the support from Ubisoft on this platform is major. We already have Watch Dogs Legion. We're about to have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, man. Like Riders Republic and all these future titles are almost a sure shot, that they're going to drop. So the narrative used to be, hey, man, the publishers and developers don't support the platform. But now you're looking at Sekiro and so many other games, man, that's on this platform. You have to wake up and realize that something must be right, that developers are still willing to put their games on Stadia.
And you know what? I need to slow my roll. I need to slow my roll real quick, because by you talking about Sekiro Storm, I forgot Sekiro plays so much better than it does on consoles, don't it? By your account, correct?
It's definitely a locked 60 FPS, and I don't need to scope in, I don't need to zoom in, I don't need Rich Ledbetter to tell me that. You know what I mean? And Tom and Jeff or whoever at Digital Foundry, I could see it with my own eyes. People that's been playing it. Hopefully I helped you all out, but I know so many people have been playing, including like Stadia Universe and Sunny, and just so many people I've seen playing the game. Twiz, and it looks smooth every time I see it. It's like a buttery 60 FPS. Now MM2K, let's go into this whole 60 FPS thing, because Watch Dogs Legion is not 60 FPS. But it's a beautiful game. Far Cry, same thing. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, do you think it's going to be 60 or 30? I think 30. Even if Stadia is capable of doing it, it might be another one of those games that might be 1080p 30 mm. So if that's the case, are you going to be upset? Are you going to shake your fist at the window? What are you going to do? And I put you on the spot. I put you on the hot seat every time, man.
You sure did. Eddie, what are you going to do? No, I'm gonna say this. I was concerned with the advent of more and more games releasing on the platform and staying 30. I get if to get the game on the platform day and date, and you don't want to play around too much in the advent of COVID and all that other stuff, it has to release at 30 so you drop a stable product on there. But my biggest pull, and the biggest pull for a lot of people for this platform, was I get a game performance that I didn't get on the console that I already bought. You know what I mean? So I don't want to keep only having 30 frames per second games. I'm willing to deal with 1080p, medium settings, 60 frames per second. Why? Because along with sitting here bibble babbling for hours upon a day, I also stream every day. And 1080p 60 is the normal capacity at streaming. So I'm used to that. So I want my 1080p 60 versions of the games. I don't need Stadia to be 1v1 for the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5 just yet. But I won't be overjoyed if Assassin's Creed Valhalla doesn't have a 1080p 60 mode. I will say that. And cool. I'll leave it at that.
Eddie, what about you, man? Will you be disappointed, or it doesn't matter to you as long as the game plays right or plays good?
I would say kind of doesn't matter, because I've seen a lot of people playing Watch Dogs Legion in its 30, and people are having a good time with it, especially Ray. So at this point right now, of course, 60, it's cool, but depending on the game, the story of the game, like I don't mind if it's only 30.
Well, Bill says many devs are inexperienced with Vulkan. All right, we got to keep in mind this is Vulkan we're talking about, which has been known to give a couple more frames per second than DX12 or whatever. And he says, and games are ports. When you combine those two things, it makes it harder for them to hit the frame rates people want. This won't be a problem forever. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Especially when our hardware gets upgraded, then I'm going to do a dance. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what everybody else does. I'm going to do a dance and I'll record it live. You know what I'm saying? And I'll post it, because performance matters to me. It really does. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It does. But again, I do understand a great value. That's why I jumped in with the games that we're talking about.
And those are all great points. The reason why I'm here on the Stadia platform is I felt, as Jack Buser outlined March of last year, like there are going to be some tech enthusiasts that, even though we haven't realized the full capabilities of this product, we're going to, they'll appreciate what the tech can do right now. And I was one of them. But what I appreciated the most about what the tech could do is 1080p 60 frames per second. I have a 2070 card, $1,300 I just spent on a computer, having all types of issues getting 60 frames per second streaming, and then for my streaming needs, and then just for the needs that I have just for gaming, coming from a PC gaming, 60 frames per second was doable on Stadia for a lot of the games that I like to play. Therefore, I fell in love with the platform. In the advent of me losing that is going to be a hard pill to swallow. I mean, to Bill's point, it's not going to last forever, but then when? You know what I mean? So again, it's something to throw out there. And I don't want to just say, oh, well, you know what, we'll see, because there's going to be a lot of people that feel the way that I feel. And I think it's important for Google to at least know that there are a lot of us that are concerned about the 60 frames per second aspect. Again, I'm not saying it's most or half or, but I am of the ilk that came over from the PC side. And I love the fact that even though I was having problems with my $1,300 PC and they wanted me to ship in the video card and do this and buy this packaging and all that, I could just say, forget it, the hell with it, and just play the game on Stadia and get my smooth 60 frames per second. So
yeah, and just to
it'll
let
be
people
interesting
know,
to see.
Here's a quick tip from Project Storm, man. Hey, this right here is something that a lot of people don't know. MM2K will make me, he'll probably say, Storm, you're giving him too much news. I'm not going to give y'all all the secrets right now. You got to ask Bill for that, because Bill is the one I told y'all that got me all set up. He doesn't know whether he knows it or not. He got me set up with one of the videos that I watched. And I said, thank you, Bill. I did not know I could do this to
Bill. He owes you royalties.
Oh, man.
I'll give you his address.
I owe you. I will pay up, Bill, if I have to, because it was Lloyd. It was actually Lloyd's Doom Eternal 4K crispy ass gameplay. MM2K, y'all got to check it out at some point. Find that video. Lloyd Henderson was playing Doom Eternal. I could tell that the bit rate was high. Now that I know what I'm doing, Oh man, I jumped in. So Bill was like, "Look, man, here's a link right here." He dropped that link. I caught that link, and there it is. That's why you see the crispy 4K content. But what my point is that you don't have to have a super beast PC to stream Stadia, because Stadia is in the cloud, people. So it's not as taxing on your hardware than it would be if it was native. So right there, just think about that as content creators. There's a little food for thought for you, you know. All right, so I'm good on that. MM2K.
All right. So Eddie, any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Let's talk about now. We are on the eve, but great. No, that was a great conversation. Chat and Bill said, yeah, he wants to give me. He said, give me my money. Yeah, I'm gonna send you his address, Bill.
I know the PayPal. I know
everything that you need to. Everything that you need, Bill, for the lawsuit. He owes you royalties.
I know how to drop the super chats. You know what I'm saying? Super chat coming up Sundays. Get ready for it.
We're on the eve of next generation consoles, and even though we're big fans of Stadia, we love the platform, we love the prospects of the future and everything going into it. We're gamers with a capital G, as I said at the beginning of the stream, right? So as gamers with a capital G, it's very likely that we're going to be invested in these next generation consoles beyond Stadia. It's very well likely that you as well may be interested into the next generation consoles or just hardware, whether it's AMD. We had a big talk last night, Storm, on The Commission, a podcast on my MM2K videos channel. Definitely check that out, where we talk all things gaming, Stadia friendly. Definitely check it out. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. That being said, we may not only be gaming on Stadia. We got to be honest. Stadia may not have all the games that we want to play when they come out. I'm gonna go down the gambit. We're gonna start with Storm and then we'll go to Eddie. What is it? How can I phrase this question? Is Stadia going to be your main way to play or your only way to play? One. And secondly, if it's not your only way to play, what other configurations or systems or whatever you plan to introduce into your gaming regimen or your gaming portfolio, and why? So we'll start with let's start with Eddie, because I know Eddie's getting close to the time that he has to roll. So Eddie, what are you going to be playing on next generation primarily, and why?
So here is my next gen perspective as of now. I'm still debating myself between the PlayStation and the Series S, PlayStation Digital or Series S, and I will have one of those. Probably I will have one of those, and the thing is, games that requires a lot of ray tracing. I want to have games in ray tracing. So games like Watch Dogs Legion, and I don't want to say Cyberpunk right now, but I'll probably be playing those on those consoles until we don't get ray tracing available on Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get ray tracing available on Stadia, I will be playing everything on Stadia except that exclusive titles that I can't pass.
Okay.
Just like I can't pass God of War, so I will probably, as soon as they say God of War will be available on PlayStation in July, I'm gonna have a PlayStation 5 in July for sure. So, but all of the other games I'm gonna be playing on Stadia.
Storm.
Oh man, you sure you want to ask me?
Oh, absolutely. Well, while you still have access to your name, because we're going through the legalities of giving it to Bill as part of the the royalties that you owe him.
I don't have a problem with it, you know. I really don't, man, because it's helped me in ways that I scoured the internet, man, combed the internet for days and weeks, like banging my head against the wall, man, like eye fatigue and everything. I'm not even playing, y'all. Eye fatigue, looking at these people did not know. They didn't have the answers for me, man. All of a sudden, I say, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Wait. I saw a video drop, Doom Eternal, Lloyd Hannison, And then I forget, and it made me somehow go to the link. I forget which video it was, but it made me go to that link, man. Bill dropped that link. He could have put it on the Patreon or something, or behind the wall, but he didn't. So I was like, yo, wait a minute. Let me get this thing that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered it, and it was magical. That's all I'm gonna say. But MM2K, this fall, this winter, man. I mean, this winter right here is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm so excited to thinking about 4K. I want to make some content right now, man. But I plan to play on everything that I can get my hands on, man. I know the noise is out there about the Series X and the PS5, but Stadia is always going to be, I think it's going to be number one going into this into the new year, because of it's just mind blowing, man. Like, these consoles will be mind blowing as well, but not in the same fashion as Stadia. So I'll be playing on everything I can get my hands on, including PC. If I can get one of those AMD cards that's dropping on November 18th, then I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I don't know. I'm excited, man. I can't even talk about it right now. I'm so excited.
Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm still undecided. And it's perfect for election. I'm one of the undecideds, right? I know that Stadia is going to be the premier way that I game. And I'm going to drop a revelation on y'all, because when Eddie spoke, he made me realize something that I might have to do. But I'm either going, I'm trying to contemplate. I have a PlayStation 5 pre-order too, because I love next gen experiences. That's been part of my DNA for like over the last 30 plus years since I've been gaming. And so really the only next gen gaming experience that there's going to be on the AAA level is Godfall. Demon's Souls, the remake, that's really not my type of game. I know there's Miles Morales, but I can play that on my PlayStation 4. But there is going to be Godfall. And I know it sounds crazy, and I'm going to pay $400 to play Godfall. So I could do that and get a PlayStation 5, or I can beef up my PC and play it there. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to keep this PlayStation 5 pre-order, or what I'm going to do with it. With that being said, Stadia is going to be my main place. But here's the bombshell I'm about to drop. I'm going to do it here on the SSC, and people they may not like it. But I am what I am when I am. I gotta have 60 frames per second.
You don't have to, man. Let me interrupt, man. You don't have to, can't you? No, I mean, you can't do 4K 30 Ratchet and Clank MM2K, man. Like beautiful Ratchet and Clank, man, with the teleports and all that SSD speed.
Especially if I'm paying an extra $500. No, I gotta have 60 frames per second. So here's my thing. Even when it comes to Stadia, as much as I want to play Cyberpunk 2077 on Stadia, if they don't have a 60 frames per second mode,
don't say it.
I can't play it there until they get it. I think it's gonna come, but I can't.
So you're gonna go to PC. So what you're saying is you're gonna have to get an AMD PC.
I'm gonna have to get an AMD. Yeah. Now the overwhelming majority of my gaming is gonna be on Stadia. I know that. But as we're starting to see this prospect, now again, I still have my tinfoil hat theory that Cyberpunk 2077 might be the first game that we see on Gen 2.0 that could be part of the 1 year anniversary talk. But I'm hoping that there's a 1080p 60 mode.
I say this right here. I'll say this. Please. There was a tweet that came out just a little while ago about Star Wars, right? Jedi Fallen Order. I don't remember what the tweet was about, but I know it had to do with EA Play, right? Yeah. So was that tweet about any kind of next gen enhancements or something, or why would it be November 10th that I saw on this tweet?
Something I don't know. It was talking about EA Play and what they were doing with the with Game Pass. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We're being added to Game Pass. And I don't know if that's coincidental that something might happen there.
Yeah, like, because I was thinking, like, if it was going to be upgraded for the Series X, which I think it might, because the game's been out for a while. I don't know, man. But if that's the case, Project Storm starts to think that EA Play could be announced for Stadia. And then, hey, I don't know. But let's get back on track, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. But again, I gotta have Cyberpunk. I gotta have 60 frames per second on when it comes to playing it. So
That's big. And I'm the same type of dude, MM2K, but man, that's kind of like I don't know. Watch Dogs and Far Cry kind of slapped me around a little bit and said, "Man, Project Storm, you're a gamer, bro. You got to sometimes you got to sacrifice, man." Like I everything I try to produce has to be high frame rate. Hey, Serious Sam 4 came out, y'all. It's no secret, y'all know. Eddie knows. We did not accept it as it was. Ray Sherrod said the game is cool. He was good. He was happy. And I hated him for an hour. I hated him, man. I say the word hate, man. I hated him. I say, how dare you, Ray? Come out here and you supposed to ride with the team, man. We're saying that the game is 30 frames per second. And Ray is like, yeah, but I'm looking, I love it. I like it. I forgot what he said, but something like that. But now I know Ray knows it's all love, man. That's the bro, man. You know what I'm saying? But Serious Sam was a good example of things that we don't tolerate. Like the game, it's not a shot at the devs. I'm sure they work hard. And if you look at the game on PC, especially now they're using it as a benchmark for the AMD 5000 series CPUs and the GPUs, and that thing looks spectacular. All we wanted, MM2K and I, was the frame rate to be higher than it was.
Especially for a Twitch shooter.
Because the graphics are not mind-blowing. So come on, man, give us 60 at least. Come on, it would have transformed the whole game. I would have already completed the game by now.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, they would. I would be begging for them to take my money. You know what I'm saying? So, but here's the thing. I just for Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be still my most anticipated game of 2020. I can dig where Eddie's coming from, where he wants the ray tracing in it. I want a 60 frames per second mode.
Right.
So, I'm still trying to figure out. Again, Stadia is, and I said this not to dog Stadia or be like, ooh, poo, poo, Stadia. No, we got to be honest, though, here, guys and gals. Stadia is even if you make Stadia your main way to game like I am, like 90% of my gaming is still going to be on Stadia. There are scenarios to where you might be eyeballing something and it just ain't there on Stadia, or it might just not be what you want it to be on Stadia, and that's okay because Stadia is still young. It's all right.
Almost looking here at the PC specs, apparently the minimum requirements already runs not minimum, but the recommended requirements already runs on 60 FPS, and the recommended it's not that much
for what
for
game
Cyberpunk.
now?
1060 would do it.
Oh, 1060. Oh, yeah, we're in the ballpark. Yeah, we're definitely in the ballpark.
So I feel like at least 60 you're gonna get on Stadia. I don't know if you're gonna get 4K 60.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not expecting that.
That would blow my mind. I'm telling y'all
now.
If
you get 4K, hey, look.
I will be a fanboy that day. I'm telling you straight up. I will be a fanboy. Get ready for it. Get ready.
Shout out to Run Jump Stop. Hey, Bill, thank you for stopping by, my good friend. I appreciate it. The homie Robe said, MM2K bougie. Yes, I must have my crumpets and drink my tea with my pinkies shooting straight up to the sky. No, man. I got to have my 60, man. I got to have my 60. So, but no, hopefully what you're saying is right, Eddie. And what I can say is for the big ticket games that have come to Stadia day and date, that they all have had 60 frames per second modes. Doom. What else? Except for Baldur's Gate. But Baldur's Gate is something different. That's early access. So that's not even like an official release. But Doom, Marvel, and what other big ticket game have we had? And then and so therefore I believe Cyberpunk, being that that's dropping day and date, I think that'll be 60 frames per second. So I'm hoping. But just because I'm a content creator, I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. So let me just shut up. I'm just blabbering. I don't know what I'm going to do. So chat, what are you guys going to do? While you're going through what you're going to do, let me read something from our good friend, Charles Aran. He says, speaking of, and he puts this in the Stadia War Room chat on Discord. He says, speaking of listening to the rhetoric, here's my story. When the Founders Edition was announced, I had questions because I wanted my brother-in-law, who was going to get the Buddy Pass, to have the same perks. I kept getting different answers. Then it sold out. Shortly after that, the new NVIDIA Shield was announced and launched. I debated on getting it as a cloud gaming console or the Premier Edition. At the time, I thought of doing the free tier and subbing to all the major cloud gaming services. I asked a general gaming podcast Discord. One guy on the podcast is open to Stadia and is on it. And then the other isn't keen, but is on GFN. The guy said, I don't think it's a good tone to support Google right now. He said this nearly every time I brought up Stadia. Then around the time of the Stadia launch, the value clicked. I think it came down to the one guy being an NVIDIA PC fanboy after they had called me out in April podcast. I cut ties. Yeah. I can give you guys a similar story. And again, I'm not doing this to be mean, but you got to know which everybody's not great for everything. I'm not well versed on the Switch. You know what I'm saying? And if it comes to like real technical PC stuff, I'm gonna point you towards Storm. You know what I mean? I'm not great at everything. If it comes to certain things as far as like cloud gaming and maybe even PlayStation, I'll point you to Eddie. I'm not the greatest at everything, and I'm okay with that because I realize that I'm human. So there's no ego here. What we got to understand is that even though we like listening to the tone of certain voices, how tantalizing they may sound, and this, that, or the other, every podcast isn't your center of expertise for everything gaming. So I used to listen to Gamer Tag Radio. And I liked the fact they would do interviews. They got inside information. But when it came to this cloud gaming stuff, I slowly started to realize that what they were saying live on air didn't match the experience that I had in my hands. So then I had to realize, look, I'm a cloud gamer now. I've kind of outgrown this podcast. I can't listen to these guys. Nothing against them. Shout out to them. They know their dedicated device and their console stuff. So when it comes to these podcasts, you got to understand that the mainstream does not understand the aspects of cloud gaming. So you guys and gals got to be very careful on who you latch onto. I listen to a variety of podcasts. So that's my suggestion is don't just hunker down on one. Listen to a variety of people so you can get a well in-depth diversity of thought. But good comment from Charles. Any other thoughts on this whole prospect of what we're going to pick up next generation for gaming? Any other thoughts on this, guys?
No, sir, not right now.
Just gonna say that next week is gonna be cool.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. That reminds me, I gotta trade in my stuff for so I can get me some credit so I can pick up my PlayStation 5. But that's another story. All right, last but not least, let's talk about some of these games that are coming out. My friends, let me do this. Copy. All right, let's talk about the two games that were self-dropped today. The first game was, and this is coming to us courtesy of our friends at Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. Ari and the Secret of Seasons. I'm not quite sure viewing the Stadia. Oh, that's cool. They got buttons now that you can view in the Stadia store. And then there was Little Big Workshops. Have you guys had a chance to take a look at these games? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Well, I took a look. Definitely not for me. Ari and the Secrets of Seasons, but it might be for some, and that's all that matters. Metacritic is not too kind. Not saying we go by reviews in all cases, but sometimes a review is like a heads up, like MM was saying, like, hey man, don't go that way, don't go that way. They're shooting down the street, man. And if I walk down there like, man, I don't care what y'all talking about, and get shot, that's on me. So what I'm saying is I'm gonna watch Eddie Player One play it. You know, his streams are dope. You know what I'm saying? If I see Eddie ever play it, then I might jump on it. I'm just watch somebody else play it, and if they're having fun, they're having a good time. It just, as a hardcore gamer myself, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me yet, but I didn't think that the secret game that Eddie and I are going to be talking about before the show wraps was going to be a game for me either. So we'll get to that in a minute. And the other one, it's doing pretty well on Steam. I mean, the Steam people loved it. The reviews, I thought I saw like a 9 out of 10 on Steam for the what's the name of the one? The builder, Little Big Workshop.
Yep.
Now for Little Big Workshop, that's another one that doesn't look like it's going to be a Project Storm type of game. So, but I'm gonna watch the community do their thing on it, and then I'll make my decision.
Cool. Eddie, what are your thoughts?
So, Ari and the Secret of the Seasons, it's a game. It's an action adventure game. It is a game that's kind of new. It was released on September 1st. We even thought that it was coming by that time to Stadia, but no. For some special reason, the port to Stadia took a little longer. It is a cool adventure. I want to give it a try as well because the mechanics of the game, it's you control Ari and she controls the weather. So you on the game you travel through the whole seasons, spring, winter, summer, and fall. And the kind of graphics of the game, it might appeal for some people. So I do want to give it a try. Now the other one,
And who's the dev on Ari? The developer,
Ari,
Eddie?
it's published by Modus Games. The developer, it's called Poppy Works. I don't know the developer, but it's published by Modus Games. Modus
Got
Games
it.
is the same publisher that put it on Stadia. Rock
Lost
of
Wor-
Ages
and Lost Words.
and Lost Words.
Cool.
And Little Big Workshop, it's the publisher. It's Handy Games, which is the publisher of Lost Words. No, not Lost Words. The publisher of Spitlings and other title that I don't remember right now. But Little Big Workshop, it indeed has some great reviews over Steam, and I saw Jen saying that he started to play and it gets pretty addictive. And it's that kind of game that you go start and upgrade, and you go upgrade. You start a factory and start upgrading that factory to deliver more orders and so on. So a chill out game of just I don't want to say simulation, tycoon. That's the factory tycoon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the genre. Yeah.
I remember Tycoon for sure.
So
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it. And it looks like a dope game.
Sorry, say that again, Storm.
It's looking like a dope family game, man.
Yeah, no,
you're talking about family sharing. It looks like that's one of these are two games that I could see people taking advantage of with the family sharing.
Yeah, no, tycoon games are awesome. I really enjoy this genre where you just go keep evolving and bringing more and keep growing. So in this one, you are on a workshop.
Cool. All right. So with that said, we also got one more kind of stealth drop today. It's not coming yet, but it's coming very soon, right around the corner. F1 2020.
No, it is already.
Oh, it is? Oh, already?
Yeah, it started today at noon.
Yep,
Eastern
I saw
time,
it.
and it goes until Sunday.
All right. So F1 2020 free to play days. F1 2020 has been discounted and free to play this weekend starting today. So we don't have these prices in American dollars, but it's considerable discounts here. Storm, I know you have a lot of experience with this title. What are your thoughts on the game itself and the thoughts on this deal, this free weekend and the price slash?
Absolutely try it. Even if racing games are not for you, I will tell y'all a short story. A friend of mine kept saying, man, you got to try Formula One. You got to try F1, man. He was talking about 18 and 19. And then I was ready to bypass it because I'm like, man, F1 sim racing, I don't know, man. I got Grid. I have, Crew 2 and other racing games that I want to get into. But I went ahead and paid the $70 US for it, $70, US, and bought that game.
Mm-hmm.
I put content up and I realized that it's an international game that's loved across the world because of the viewers and the comments that I received on it. It's amazing. 60 frames locked. Beautiful sounding game. If you're concerned about it being a simulator or whatever, turn collisions off, turn damage off or whatever. I mean, well, don't turn collisions off, but turn damage off or something, right? Get used to it. It's a game. It's amazing. Codemasters makes dope racing games. I love it.
Runs on 4K 60, by the way.
4K 60, I give it a 10 out of 10. I know people said that they had issues in the beginning. I have not run up to those issues yet. I have not really tried multiplayer because I'm so damn happy with the single player that I don't even care about multiplayer, man. I just want to get through the whole campaign. It's dope. I love it. So that's definitely a game to try if you've ever cared about racing at all, or if you haven't. It's definitely simulation now. I will say that, but you know, you can figure it out. Y'all can figure it out.
The prices in US dollars, the deal, it's from $60 to $35.99.
Okay.
And the deluxe edition, it's $41.99.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Try it out. And this is dope. This is dope how they're doing this. They're allowing you to try it out. The free play weekend, which is starting on a Thursday. Golly, try it out. Let us know. Let you know. And if you like it, you know, then go ahead and get it, man. And you get that pro deal. So I think what has happened is, at the very least, this has shown why there is still a significant value with pro. I know people were questioning, you know, should they keep pro? You know, some people may not be the fondest of its offerings. Well, if you look at the considerable offerings that you got off of Far Cry 5, what you're getting with F1, I mean, there you go. The pro games that you get every month, there you go.
I mean, I won't let you sleep on that one. This is one of those ones, y'all. I'm telling you right now, this is one that you want to try.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. With that said, that wraps up all of our topics for the show. I mean, we can, did we want to go through the chat? Any questions in the chat?
Let's see here.
I do have my homie Chris right here. I do got to highlight this. Chris says, we need people like MM2K that doesn't settle for 30 frames per second. So Google and the publishers can be pressured to target 60 frames per second in the future. Hey, Chris, you're bringing me to tears like how Storm did the other day when Far Cry 5 dropped. Yeah, man. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Our homie Amunar, though, said, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Storm. He says, hey, Eddie, Storm, MM2K, you know you guys are also getting an Xbox Series X. You know you want the experience next gen. I'm going to say this, and y'all can look. I'm not trying to dog any platform. If people, whatever someone's purchasing decision is, if they're gung-ho about it, they're gung-ho about it. I made a video earlier warning people who might be on the fence, who may have heard certain rhetoric from Xbox, just like I warned people who might have been on the fence when they heard, you know, Ryan say we're about generations. There's some things that are being, you know, revealed about the Xbox Series X and the Series S that people may not have been aware of, particularly with the Series S. They made it sound like that all the files would be 30% shorter. Eurogamer today have revealed that that's not going to be the case. And then with the Xbox Series X, again, you're paying $500 for that console, but don't be expecting something that's going to, you know, pop out at you like it would a normal gen. I mean, they said you're basically paying $500 to play the backwards compatibility of it. So, I mean, it is what it is. If you're okay with that, that's fine. If I'm going to stick with a console, for me right now, it's going to be the PlayStation 5. That's just me. So, but did anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I'm looking at all of them. I watched videos today. I'm watching Series X gameplay. I saw this one guy, I forget his name, but he made some beautiful Battlefield 5 footage, and the game was enhanced. It looked like PC Ultra settings. I don't know. That's right down my avenue. So Sea of Thieves was another beautiful looking game. So if these games are being enhanced, No Man's Sky is going to receive a next gen treatment. That is, y'all got to check this stuff out, man. It's crazy. So if you are a Series X lover, a PS5 lover, you should have something that should make you smile. On top of all the negativity about 1440p and all these P's out here and stuff, like it's about the games, and some of these games are going to be beautiful. MM2K, you know, you take a little bit of shots aimed your way a couple times. I know on social media, for example, man, I see the shots that people be firing at you, man. Like you, just really just hate Xbox and you don't never bash PS5. or you don't come at Stadia's neck for doing wrong or whatever. Or I mean, can you say something to the people, man? I mean, what?
Well, the people know better. I mean, look, there's defenders of Xbox.
Yeah.
There's Xbox zealots. There's zealots for every platform. I'm not here for the zealots. I'm here for, again, the unsuspecting gamer that, might have heard Jim Ryan say, we believe in generations. They had to get called out. And who might have heard, I forget, Ron, whatever the guy's name is, that the fouls are going to be 30%.
Jason Ronald?
Jason Ronald, who said that the fouls are going to be 30% less. He made it sound like it was going to be across the board. Eurogamer had to expose him on that. And that's the type of stuff that I dealt with when I was the unsuspecting gamer, that had me coming home time after time with purchase that I didn't want. And I don't like that type of stuff. So again, my job is not to stroke the mane of your favorite piece of plastic and make it feel good. It's not to stroke the mane of my favorite platform. I just told you guys today, shocked a lot of people. They left. I looked at the numbers. They left. They were like, oh, no, I don't want to hear this trash. That I might get Cyberpunk 2077 elsewhere. It is what it is. I'm here to make sure that people are informed. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. There's other choices out there. But I love the prospect. But again, here's the thing. I love the prospect of, by me saying the stuff that I'm saying, if there's other people saying it, they influence decisions. I will tell you that besides the tech prospect of it, Microsoft knew that their hardcore offerings were next to none for the average consumer that was in love with the platform. They knew that buying an entity like Bethesda really closed that gap. And if there wasn't people in the trenches saying, you can't forget us, you can't forget the hardcore, maybe they don't make that purchase. You got to open your mouth. If you don't open your mouth, close. Look, there's a saying from the hood that maybe y'all appreciate. Closed mouths don't get fed. If y'all want to sit here and wood buff these consoles all day, that's on you. You're not getting a check. Google's not sending me a check or anything. I love the platform. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever done anything negative to me, but it's not for me to hold a multi-trillion-dollar company on my shoulders. If I don't like something, I'm going to speak out about it. And it's not my job to say, okay, I got a negative PlayStation story, so I got to have a negative Xbox story too. That's absurd. That's like I had to tell somebody on Twitter today, God bless them, like my grandma would say, bless they heart. But that's like me saying, if they say, well, why don't you ever say anything negative about this platform? Or why don't you ever say anything positive about this platform too? And I would be like me, a family member coming home and say, hey, look, I go down I-95, whatever the case may be. Can you recommend something to me? And I just say, well, you know what? There is a shop right there that you can go by and grab something to eat. And I know it's roach infested. And after they grab the roach infested food from there, they say, why did you recommend that to me?
Well, if they watch your content, they will see that you were one of the first ones to report the Bethesda news and ZeniMax and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
But you got to watch the content though. You got to watch all the content.
It's not about that. It's about what they want to do is they want to caveat. They want everything to be positive about their favorite piece of plastic because they're not sure about their purchase. If I'm not shallow like that. If I was shallow like that, and any of us that are listening, we're not shallow if we were shallow like that, we would have never stuck to Stadia because the whole world was hating on Stadia.
Right.
So my thing is, don't be shallow like that. You don't need me to pump up your platform. If you think the platform needs to be pumped up, grab a mic and pump it up. You don't need me. You know what I'm saying? So that is my message for the day.
Great message, man.
With that said, hey, look, we're running over. Any other thoughts, guys, before we go? Any other, Eddie, Storm, any other thoughts before we close it down for today?
It's going to be a hell of a November.
Absolutely.
I just got it in my soul. I feel it. You know what I mean? December as well. It's going to be some big news, a lot of reasons to smile. So get ready to join this movement, y'all.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the games. There are a lot of good games coming on November. Enjoy the hype. We're leaving something that we only see every 7 years or so. And maybe it's the last time we're going to see an event this big with new consoles.
It could be. Yep. All right. With that said, hey, thank you everybody for coming by. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love all of y'all. Thank y'all for y'all participation. It was great. And until next time, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Keep on gaming, y'all.